Hello and welcome to the ultimate video. I've seen this going around a few times and I've seen a few different people do it. You essentially go book shopping, do a book haul, do some book reading and just do anything bookish, do like a reading journal. I have a reading journal, so I will partake in that part of it. And yeah, just anything slightly bookish you do in one video. So that is what we're planning on doing today. We're to go book shopping. We're literally getting ready to leave. We're gonna go book shopping. We're going to head into Worcester and go to Waterstones. Waterstones is having like a double stamps event this weekend, so we're gonna do that. And then there's also lots of charity shops in Worcester, which charity shops are one of my favourite ways of finding books, so definitely excited and intrigued to do that. When we get back, I'll do a book haul and we'll pick a book to read. I'm not saying like 100% a book that I pick up in this video will be like the book I decide to read. I might decide to read one that's already on like my TBR. But if I find some of the books that I'm really excited to find, then it very well could be a book from the haul that gets chosen. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a good, fun, chill vibe. And I've never done a video like this before, so I'm intrigued to see how it turns out, if I enjoy it, if I like it. Yeah, so let's go book shopping. Okay, We are back from the shopping, we're back from our day out. It's been really, really lovely. It is now after 3, so I'm going to figure out what the plan is for the day. But I think the plan is probably to read. I do need to edit my September TBR video, so I will be needing to do that at some point today. So I will need to fit that in. But yeah, I think I do want to read, and I think I will probably read one of the books that I got today. I don't know for sure, I don't know. There's 3 of which that I could pick up right now. There's 1 of which I can't pick up because like I'm currently reading book 1 of the series and I found book 2 in charity shop, so I got. And there's 1 where I'm like, this needs big brain energy, and big brain Heather is just like not here today. So yeah, that will be the plan. I'll probably pick 1 of them at least to read. There's 2 that would take a very short amount of time, so we'll have a look. But yeah, let's do a book haul first before we try and figure anything else out. I ended up getting 2 books from Waterstones and 3 books from charity shops. I think I only filmed in 2 charity shops. I did end up going to 4 in the end, but I actually ended up getting all 3 of the books from the one charity shop, and that is the really big one that you see, the St Richard's Hospice. You'll have seen that already, but I did end up getting all 3 books that I actually purchased today from there. There were others, there was a lot of maybes, but I'm really trying to be very intentional with the books that I'm buying. If I'm not going to get to them within the next like 6 months, then like it can wait, because I need to learn my TBR, and that will be a problem for next year. But I'm trying to get on that brainwave and way of thinking already. So yeah, let's book haul. First book, the one that I was probably most excited for. If they didn't have it, I would have been really upset. I've been waiting to get this one. I just haven't been to a Waterstone since it's been out. And that is Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. I really like Chloe Gong's writing. I've read every book that she has published out there, but all of them have been in like the Shanghai series that she does, which started out as a Romeo and Juliet retelling in the These Violent Delights duology, and then there's another duology, although one is still to come out, and then there's also like a short story collection. But yeah, I've read all of those and love them, they're great. And this is Chloe Gong's, it's called Flesh and False Gods is the name of the series, but it's her adult debut, first one. And yeah, I'm really, really excited to give it a go, figure out what it's about. I believe that it's an Anthony and Cleopatra retelling, I believe. But yeah, end up getting this one. It sounds like it's kind of going to be like Deadly Games, and people can jump between bodies. And yeah, we're following a princess who's been in hiding, Anton Makusa, who's competing in the games to save his childhood love. But yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a fun time, like fantasy, romance, adult, retelling. It's got all the things that like for me are like check check check, so I feel very hopeful about this and I really want to read it. This is the Waterstone special edition, the one that I ended up getting. It is basically just a slightly more purple cover rather than the original UK edition. It's a slightly more green cover. I will inlay a picture, but yeah. And then we've got yellow edges, which is fine. Like, I don't know, I think I prefer this colourway, but I didn't have that many feelings about it, to be honest. I would have been fine whatever edition I ended up getting, but I'm very excited to have this. And then the other one that I ended up getting from Waterstones, I hope that I get to this soon, but this isn't where I imagined starting with this author, but essentially Waterstones' 5 top selling books for this weekend only are 50% off, and this is one of their top 5 selling books, so it was in that deal. Everything else was just double stamps, but this one in particular was also 50% off, so I think I only paid like £8 for this or something. And that is Yellowface by Rebecca F. Kwong, or if you read fantasy, R.F. Kwong. I believe that they're using their like full name Rebecca for non-fantasy, I think. Don't quote me on it, but that's what I think the vibe is here. And yeah, I've heard a lot about this. Essentially, there's 2 friends who are authors. One is more successful than the other, and when the one dies, who happens to be Asian author, she dies in front of the other with a manuscript that has not been sent off. The less popular white author steals the manuscript and publishes it under a like racially ambiguous name. It sounds really interesting. I really think I'm going to enjoy it. Do I think I'm like in the right headspace for this right now? No. And I also just didn't imagine starting with this book with this author. I always imagined picking up the Poppy War trilogy at some point. Plans changed. I picked up this one. I now own this one. I'd really love to give it a go. And yeah, that's that really. I do also like that on this one, so you've got this yellow cover, and underneath, I don't know if it'll show up on camera, I have got my light on, there we go, you can see there the like eyes and eyebrows are also like glossy on the matte black, so it's like a little extra something special on the hardcover. And then we've got 3 books from the charity shops. The first one that I picked up was Authority. This is the second book in the Southern Reach trilogy. I'm currently halfway through Annihilation. Well, probably about a third of the way through, but I'm enjoying what I've read so far. I'm enjoying the writing. I'm having a good time. So I figured as I saw this and it was only £2.45, I'd pick it up and give it a go. I definitely think I want to pick up the next book to it, so yeah, it was relatively cheap. £2.45 isn't bad, so picked it up. Hello? You okay? Then in the poetry section I saw this book. This is Wendy Cope and it is Serious Concerns. Basically this fable, is it Fable and Fable? Is that what they're called? Faber and Faber, which is kind of like, you can see these 2 little F's here. I've had a few of these poetry collections now. Some I've really enjoyed, some I really haven't enjoyed, but I sat down in the cafe for a little bit because my boyfriend was getting a coffee in the cafe that they have in this charity shop, and I read like the first 5 poems and they were all like really good. Like I really enjoyed them. I found them so easy to read and get along with, so I decided to go for it, actually purchase it. It was only £2, so like, you know, if I don't like it I can sell it on or I can donate it back. Not the end of the world. But I have very high hopes for this. I've never heard of the author before. I don't have like a background knowledge or anything like that. I just enjoy searching the poetry section of charity shops because you never know what you're going to find. Like you never know, you know, what new author you're going to find. And then last but not least, potentially the most exciting book today. If I hadn't got Immortal Longings today, this would definitely be the most exciting book. I've wanted this book for ages. I've looked for it. It doesn't seem very easy to find in the UK. Maybe I'm just not looking hard enough. Like I haven't looked in any like graphic novel comic shops, which maybe would be more likely to stock it frequently. But I've never seen this in person before. And I decided today was the day to pick it up because I saw it in a charity shop for £4.95, and that is... Right, camera died, hopefully that's not anticlimactic. But the book is Persepolis and it's the story of childhood. I've heard so much about this. I've heard it recommended so many times. It's probably been on my like radar to pick up if I see it for a couple of years now. And yeah, I didn't realise it was this short. I've literally never seen this in person before and I didn't know it was this short. And this is, I mean, well, I'll just read the description. Wise, funny and heartbreaking. Memoir of growing up in Iran during the Islamic Revolution. In powerful black and white comic strip images, Satrapi, I really hope I'm saying that correctly, I will look up how to pronounce the author's name correctly when I'm reading it, tells the story of her life in Tehran from the age of 6 to 14. Years that saw the overthrow of the Shah's regime, the triumph of the Islamic Revolution and the devastating effects of war with Iraq. The intelligent and outspoken only child of committed Marxists and the great-granddaughter of one of Iran's last emperors, Marjane bears witness to a childhood uniquely entwined with the history of her country. Persepolis paints an unforgettable portrait of daily life in Iran, the bewildering contradictions between home life and public life, and the toll repressive regimes exact on the individual spirit. Marjane's child's eye view of dethroned emperors, state-sanctioned whippings and heroes of the revolution allows us to learn, as she does, the history of this fascinating country and her own extraordinary family. Intensely personal, profoundly political and wholly original, Persepolis is at once a story of growing up and a reminder of the human cost of war and political repression. It shows how we carry on with laughter and tears in the face of absurdity. And finally, it introduces us to an irresistible little girl with whom we cannot help but fall in love. So yeah, that just sounds so like amazing and impactful to me. And like graphic memoir is something I am getting into. I am halfway through another graphic memoir at the moment, so like maybe we should pick this one up today as well. I don't know, but I'm really intrigued, and it seems weird to say excited about a memoir that's going to be dark and heavy, but like I am excited in a way of like I can't wait to pick this up. Excited to get to it. So these are all the books that I've ended up getting today. I really don't know what I'm going to read next, to be honest. I I'm basically between deciding to have like a graphic memoir, poetry day, couple of days, and like include these two along with some others that I've already got on my TBR, or dedicating a couple of days to Immortal Longings. Honestly, I just don't think I have the time for this right now. I think I'd rather fit it into like a weekend that I'm completely free. Like, I'm not going to finish this today. Even if I picked it up now, I'd probably only get like halfway to 3/4 of the way in. And I really want to give this a lot of time. So I think, yeah, I think I'm going to put those three aside. I'm going to put these two on my TBR for this video. I'm probably going to go downstairs and pick a couple of others up off my TBR. I've got a poetry arc that I need to read, which I've got on my computer. I've got another poetry collection that I'm like really excited to read, and I've got another graphic memoir that I've already started and would like to finish. So I think I might do that. I think that's the plan. I think that's what we're going to do. I'll come back with a proper TBR and a proper plan. Hello, so I'm back. I'm in my pyjamas, getting cozy for the evening. I'm about a quarter of the way through the video I need to edit today, so I'm not too stressed. I can do it, but I really want to read. So I've brought down these 4 books with me. So these are 2 poetry books and 2 graphic memoirs, and then there is also a poetry book that I've got on my laptop. I'll show a picture in there. So that's kind of like the TBR. That is 3 poetry books, 2 graphic memoirs. We'll see what we get through. I'm not saying I'm going to read all of this because I know myself. It only takes me to get into one kind of mood and we'll end up binge watching some random crap on the TV that I've never even heard of before this evening. But I have high hopes that we'll read a fair bit. So we've got Heavy as the Head, which is a poetry collection that I've got on my laptop through NetGalley. So I need to also write a review on that when I read it. So that one will take me a little bit longer to do because I want to make sure that I've got like a brain on where I can actually like write a fairly decent review, you know, not just like, yeah, was good, really enjoyed, would recommend. Because that is oftentimes how far my reviews go on Goodreads. And then we've got Serious Concerns, which is the poetry collection that I purchased today. Really enjoyed the first 4 or 5 that I read in the shop and would definitely really like to get to. I really love poetry. Oh, that's my food, one moment. Right, I need another 2.5 minutes. Let's speed through these now. We've got another poetry collection that I've been wanting to get through for ages called Electric Arches. I think it's going to be really powerful, really moving. It's poetry, prose, magical realism and memory. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work, but I can't wait to get it started and figure that out. Then we've got Ducks. This is a graphic memoir by Kate Beaton that I've been 100 pages in for about a month now. I just haven't had the chance to pick it up. It's really chunky, so I don't want to take it out anywhere with me. Like, this is a house only sort of book. So Ducks, it's about working in the oil sands in Alberta and basically how, you know, it's a massive thing in a lot of these small Canadian towns where after college, to be able to pay off your debt, you need to go and like get one of these jobs that is very down and that there is like consistent trauma happening there. And it's just normalised. So there's that one, and then there is this one. This is the one I picked up today. This is Persepolis, the story of childhood. I have now done a bit of research on Goodreads because I wanted to get the pictures ready, so when I fill in my reading journal at the end of this, I've got pictures to put in. This is a collection of books 1 and 2. There are 4 books total, so like if you got them in like the original format, like the original like graphic novel, I don't know, like an issue rather than a bind up sort of thing. There'd be 4 in total, so this is 1 and 2 together, and then there is another one called Persepolis 2, which is a bind up of 3 and 4 together, so I will need to keep my eyes out for that. But this is a bind up of the first 2 issues essentially, so very intrigued. There isn't like a, I don't know what you call it, like contents page. I don't know if you called it a contents page when it comes to like memoirs, graphic novels. Is it a contents page still? I don't know, someone let me know. But yeah, there's not anything like that, so I don't know if we will know the difference between reading like the first issue and the second issue. I really don't know, but that one as well. So yeah, those are the 5 books in total that I'm planning on reading, hopefully this evening, but maybe we'll also go into tomorrow. But also if I can't be bothered tomorrow, not like I do have a lot to do tomorrow, if I can't, then we'll just end it where we end it. But I'm hoping to at least get a good chunk of those read this evening. So stick around for more. That's my food. Okay, I'm probably going to read a little bit more before bed. Don't know which of the other books I'm going to pick up, but whilst I was downstairs I did completely read Serious Concerns by Wendy Cope. I haven't really decided on a rating for this yet. It isn't 5 stars. Like, it didn't emotionally impact me. It didn't like emotionally get to me, which to me, like, all of the poetry that I've rated 5 stars so far has. So it's not 5 stars for me, but I don't know if it's 4 stars or 4.5 stars. I feel like if I was more educated in like the art form of poetry and in like the nuances of poetry, I would have enjoyed it more, and it would definitely be 4.5 stars, which makes me feel like it might only be 4 stars. But the difference between that half a star isn't the fault of the book at all, it's the fault of my own knowledge. So I don't know, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Like 90% of the poems, maybe 95%, like I genuinely enjoyed reading. There are a few that were just duds for me, but like, you know, it's very rare that an entire collection is like great for me, so like that's not unsurprising at all. And if I'm being completely honest, they were like the ones that was really talking about religion or really talking about drinking, and like, yeah, I'm not surprised that I just didn't care. But there's still funny moments, there were still things that I enjoyed. It was a very like humorous collection. There were a lot of things that I enjoyed about it. I would recommend it. I would recommend it to people to try. I do think it's a really nice poetry collection to try, to figure out, like, you know, if you enjoy poetry or not. But I also think that if you already know that you enjoy poetry, if you love poetry, if you write poetry, if you have like the knowledge of like what goes into writing poetry, I think there's a very high chance that you'd like this. Like there were a handful of poems that were literally talking about like the art form of poetry and like going into specifics of it, and I enjoyed them. I wish I knew more about poetry going into this. Like, my knowledge is I read it and it makes me feel something or it doesn't, and like I think I'm relatively good at reading poetry. Like I find it very easy to flow with and do, but I don't have like the nuance or the education there that I feel like would have made some of the poems that I just enjoyed absolutely loved. So yeah, I'd also recommend it for people who do just have a lot of knowledge on poetry and can see that in it too. Okay, so new day, new start. I read just over a quarter of Heavy is the Head, which is the poetry collection that I have on my laptop, and I'm enjoying it. Like, it's decent. I really enjoy getting like poetry collections as like, you know, like arcs and like reading them, but it's definitely one of those where I'm like, it's a shame I don't have the physical book. Like, I would prefer to be reading it physically to like actually like highlight and annotate and see just how much I'm enjoying, because although I can highlight on my laptop, like I can't do anything else and I can't see where those highlights are or anything. So I'm really enjoying it. Right now it feels like a 4-star, but I think at the end when I'm done, I'm just gonna have to actually look back and see the ratios of like how much I've highlighted in each poems and stuff, and like how much I've enjoyed them. But right now it's feeling like a 4 stars. I'll probably finish it this week. I don't know if I'll finish it this video, but right now I'd really recommend it. It's really good. A lot of, not necessarily like dark, but like content that, how do I say this? Essentially, if you are considering picking it up, I would just check any trigger warnings before going in, because there are a hell of a lot of things spoken about and it's quite a vast range of topics, but all of them are potentially triggering to some people. So I would just say that. But yeah, for today I'm going to pick up a okay, I ran out of space on my memory card, but I am about to pick up another book. These are the 3 I've got left. I'd like to read this one because it's new, but I'm actually going out later, so I might take this one with me because it's quite short. So I might do that. And I think I might read Ducks now, just because I'm already a good chunk into it. I'm already like less than a quarter, but I'd say a good chunk. I'm like 100 pages in. How many pages is it? Can I see that with it? 430, so like almost a quarter of the way in now, and it's been really good so far. It's a chunky one. I don't want to take it out anywhere. I want to read it in the house so I don't have to carry it around. But yeah, I think I have already spoken about this one vaguely, but yeah, it is essentially like a graphic memoir about Kate Beaton and her 2 years in the oil sands. Like, Ducks 2 years in the oil sands is literally what it's called. The very short bit of this is Ducks, 2 Years in the Oil Sands is an untold story of a country that prides itself on its egalitarian ethos and natural beauty, while simultaneously exploiting both the riches of its land and the humanity of its people. And it's been really great. I've really enjoyed it, and I'd really like to finish it and read more, so I think I'm going to read this today before I go out, and then I'll take this one out with me, and I'll just keep you updated. I'll let you know how it's going. But yeah, I guess, right, do I have a bookmark in here? I do have a bookmark in here. Okay, so let's go to the start of this, and I will just quickly show you the art style a little bit of this one, because I do think that's important for me when I'm picking up stuff that is illustrated as well as written. Like, you know, when you're reading something, you look and see if you vibe with the writing style, and I think you also need to know if you vibe with the art style. So I'll take you to the very start, show you a few pages, just so there's not like spoilers. I don't know if you can really have spoilers when it's someone's like memoir, when it's just about someone's life, but just in case, I'll take you back to the very start. Persepolis. It was really good. I think I'm giving it 5 stars. Absolutely great. I've learned so much. It was so educational and informative, but in like such an easy way to like read and digest and really like understand and get through. I'm like, yeah, so happy I read it. We'll definitely be picking up the second version of the book. Essentially, you can get like the complete version that looks like this, or you can get versions 1 and 2 that look like this. And the one that I ended up picking up from the charity shop was versions where 1 and 2 are separate. So yeah, I definitely need to pick up the other one. I feel like I've learnt so much, and I feel like I'll read it again as well, because like I feel like, you know, in the time I've read it, I definitely haven't taken in all of the information I could have. But yeah, I've definitely learnt from it, and I'm really happy that I read it. So yeah, 5 stars, would definitely recommend. Great way to get the information, I guess, because it was just so easy to consume, and the illustrations that went along with the writing and with what was going on, I think did also help with like the comprehension of like the actual information being told. So yeah, really great. Obviously like terrible circumstances for the book to need to be wrote in, but yeah, I feel good about how much I learned, how informative the story was, and like I literally kept picking it up. Like it was very easy to pick up and read and like understand. So yeah, really glad I read it. So if I put that down, the next thing I think I'm going to do is just update my reading journal. I read a little bit more Ducks. I know I said I was going to read that one, and then Persepolis. I read a bit of Ducks, but I'm not going to finish it. I've still got almost 300 pages to read, so I'll just do that as and when I'm in the house and I'm able to pick it up. So yeah, I think update my reading journal, and then this video will probably be over. I'm really pleased with the 2 books that I've picked up. You know, like I've ended up reading 2 books, both of which I purchased during this video, and like I got from the charity shops during this video. One of which I've given 4 stars, one of which I'm giving 5 stars. Like I think it's been really good. I couldn't have asked for like a better way for this to go. So yeah, let's update my reading journal, and then we'll be done with this ultimate book video.